Right now, falling in love works like this. You see a face on a screen, you swipe, you message, you meet a stranger chosen from thousands of options, and maybe slowly something grows. You have more freedom to love than any human in history. You can choose from a near infinite pool of people. You can marry for passion alone. You can leave whenever you want. This feels normal to you. It feels like the way love has always worked. But for 300,000 years, none of this existed. No choice from thousands. No marrying for passion alone. Often no real choice at all. And yet, ancient humans absolutely fell in love. The question is how? In a world with no privacy, no freedom, and barely 50 people you would ever meet in your entire life. The answer changes everything we think we know about romance, and it might explain why, with all our freedom, so many of us feel so alone. Let's start with the biggest question of all. Did ancient humans even feel romantic love? Or is love a modern invention, something we created with poetry and music and movies? For a long time, many scholars assumed romantic love was cultural, a luxury, something only certain societies invented. Then the biological anthropologist Helen Fisher set out to test it. She studied well over 100 different cultures, from huge modern nations to small, isolated groups living traditional lives, and she found romantic love in nearly every single one. Songs about longing, stories of lovers who defied their families, the same desperate, obsessive, joyful feeling everywhere humans existed. Then she went further. She put people who were newly in love into a brain scanner, and she watched what love actually does to the human brain. It lit up the same regions linked to deep craving and reward, the same circuits involved in our most powerful drives. Love was not a thought, it was a drive, as deep and as old as hunger and thirst. This means that romantic love is not a modern invention at all. It is ancient, it is built into us, which means the humans of 50,000 years ago felt that same overwhelming pull that you have felt, the racing heart, the obsession, the sense that one specific person suddenly mattered more than anything else. But here is the part nobody talks about. Why would evolution build something as chaotic and overwhelming as love into the human brain in the first place? The answer is one of the most important reasons our species survived. Human babies are born helpless, more helpless than almost any other animal. They cannot walk, cannot feed themselves, cannot survive alone for years. Raising one is enormously difficult. Far too difficult for one person to do alone in a dangerous ancient world. So nature needed a way to keep two people bonded together long enough to raise a child to survival. And that glue was love. That intense early obsession that pulls two people together. Scientists believe it evolved to bond partners through the hardest years. The deep, calm attachment that comes later, that evolved to keep them together long enough to raise the next generation. Love, in other words, was not just a feeling, it was a survival mechanism. The ancient humans who fell in love and stayed bonded were more likely to raise children who lived, which means every person alive today is descended from ancient humans who fell in love. You are quite literally the result of hundreds of thousands of years of love that worked, and we have proof that this love was real. In 2007, archaeologists near the Italian city of Mantua uncovered something that stopped them cold. Two skeletons, a young man and a young woman buried together around 6,000 years ago. They were face to face, their arms wrapped around each other, their legs intertwined. They had been placed that way deliberately at the moment of burial, and they had stayed locked in that embrace for 6,000 years. The world came to call them the lovers of Valdaro. We will never know their story. But someone who knew them looked at these two people and understood something, that they belonged together even in death. That 6,000 years ago, in a world we imagine as cold and brutal, two people loved each other enough that their community buried them in an eternal embrace. Love was not new. It was already the most human thing in the world. So what did falling in love actually look like? Picture it. You live in a small group. You have known almost everyone in it your entire life. There are no strangers, no first dates, no grand introductions. Love does not arrive in a single dramatic moment. It grows in the spaces of ordinary life. You notice someone across the fire at night, laughing at a story. You work beside them, gathering food, and find reasons to stay close. You share glances that no one else seems to notice, though in a group that small, everyone notices. There is no privacy, so courtship is quiet. A gift left where they will find it, a choice to sit nearby, a piece of food offered first to them. The whole community watches it happen because the whole community is always there, and slowly, without a word ever being formally spoken, everyone simply understands that these two people now belong together. That was falling in love for almost all of human history. Not a swipe, not a stranger, a slow, witnessed, unstoppable pull towards someone you already knew. But this is where ancient love becomes truly different from yours, because for ancient humans, love was almost never a private thing between two people. There was no dating, no going off alone to build a separate life. You lived your entire existence inside a small group, maybe 25 to 50 people, who you would know for your whole life. Your choice of partner was tied to the survival of everyone. Bonds often formed within or between groups to build alliances, to share resources, to keep the peace. Love existed. The obsession, the attachment, the deep pull was real, but it lived inside a web of family and community and survival, not outside it. When two ancient humans came together, they were not escaping into a private world of two. They were being woven more deeply into the only world they had. Their love was witnessed, supported, and held by everyone around them. You were never alone in your love, because you were never alone at all. And here is the part that should stay with you. We have done something no humans in history ever did. We have made love free. You can choose from thousands of people. You can marry for passion alone. You can leave and start over as many times as you want. By every measure, we have more romantic freedom than any humans who have ever lived. And yet, studies keep finding the same strange thing. We may be the loneliest humans in history. More people living alone. More people single and not by choice. More people surrounded by endless options and somehow unable to find the one thing ancient humans had by default: belonging. The ancient human had almost no choice in who they loved. Their world was tiny. Their freedom was small, but their love was held inside a community that would never let them face life alone. We traded that small world for an infinite one. We gained the freedom to love anyone. And somewhere in that trade, many of us lost the thing that made love feel safe in the first place, the certainty that we belonged to a group of people who were not going anywhere. Ancient humans fell in love the same way you do. The racing heart, the obsession, the sense that one person mattered more than the world. But when they found it, they were not two people against the world, they were two people held by it, and maybe that, not the love itself, but the world that held it, is the thing we are all still searching for.